Okay everybody, today is going to be a video comparing my top 5 phone editing softwares. So once we get this started, my little demonstration is about 7 minutes long. First one we're starting with is PhotoFox. Now this is number 5. This is probably my least favorite out of them, but it still made the list. The things that I like about it is it has layers. This is a good Photoshop comparison. So if you're going in and you're playing around, you really want to get that Photoshop layers and you can cut out stuff, you have a lot of great options. Now the thing I don't like about PhotoFox is they're businessmen. They like the business part of this, and so there are all these try buttons. Now the try buttons will allow you to actually adjust, but the moment you say check, yes I want it, then it offers to make you pay for things. And so that is a little bit unfortunate, and it just kind of becomes a little bit clunky, especially if you think you want to use it and then you can't use it. So yeah, but it's got a decent amount of features that you can use. It's got borders, but the main thing is it's got the main editors, which is like brightness, contrast, vibrance. Those are the things that you would really want if you needed a good photo editor. The next one is Ultralight. Now this one again is just an iPhone, iOS comparison, but I would compare this more to Lightroom and less to Photoshop, which is probably why they call it Ultralight. That just occurred to me. Anyway, so as you can see, it's got filters, but if it says like pro or if it says a little pro at the bottom, that means that you have entered into the pay for product. Now the piece that I like about Ultralight is the scrollies that are so easy to use. As you can see here, they just kind of allow you to visually mark where everything is. The only problem is when you're going through it, you might it's easy to over edit, so just kind of watch that. You can change the saturation, you can change the color. My other criticism with it is it doesn't have a curves option, and I think curves are really important, especially when you're doing editing. But otherwise, it's super easy to use and it's just right there and ready to go. The next one is PicsArt. Now PicsArt is the first one that you can use both, so it's why it kind of made it over PhotoFox. It's got a lot more options than PhotoFox does, and you're then going to start getting your first face retouching options. So if you are really into portraiture, you might find that this is a better app. The other thing that it's got is it's got a lot of really cool artistic options. So if you're really into digital art more and you want to start getting like this cool like Mod Podge of interesting effects, you might enjoy PicsArt a little bit more. The other thing is it's got this cool little files. You could see there was curves in there, but the other thing is like they have like this disperse that I think is really neat, and I think that's a cool feature that is really good for digital art. It also has other options that like opacity, and so you just get a lot of really good opportunities with it. They have stickers, of course, and keep an eye out for those crowns. Those little crowns are what you have to pay for. But as you can see, there's just a ton of options that don't have crowns. And a ton of like different effects that you can use that really can elevate your photography and make your pictures look better. So as far as a free app, I feel like this has it's a very dense app for what it is. Buzard is my second choice. Now Buzard I feel like is just a little bit more crisp than PicsArt is. It also does a better job of organizing it. So you see these little tabs at the bottom. When you click on them, it opens up more options and then more options on top of that. And so I feel like you can get just so much more done. So as you can see, if I go to adjust, I can adjust a bunch of different, whoa! All right, I may have lost my spot a little bit with Buzard. But anyway, there's just so many different options that you can use, and it also has layers, which is really nice. It has text. The other thing that you can do with it is it's got opacity, and opacity will allow you to kind of create double exposure and stuff, and I just feel like it's really well laid out for like an in-app phone. I'm here playing with the filters a little bit. I would watch out though, especially if you are using in-app devices not to go crazy if you're trying to look professional. Don't use filters if you're trying to have like a nice professional look. If you're doing something for social media, that's a totally different ball of wax. You can go crazy with it. But if you are trying to make your photos look really like nice and like you know how to edit, I would really do it manually and just be careful. I also show here that there is drawing with it, which is really nice. It's got a few options. So like if you want to draw over your art, that's kind of a nice one as well. The next one, and my number 2 choice is or my number 1 choice, I should say, is Polar. Now Polar is available on all of them. Of course, they are trying to have like a free version and a paid version, as all of these are, but I feel like Polar might be the most dense, and that's why I like it the most. The other thing about it is, I noticed in the top corner there's a histogram. This is the only one that has a histogram, and a histogram is really great because it shows you what your white balance is. It kind of shows you where your colors are, and following your histogram as a new photographer is a really great way to ensure that your pictures are looking well balanced and not blown out and not oversaturated. It's just a really good section there. As you can also see, it's got other information like the ISO and a bunch of the other things. It's more like Photoshop. It does of course have filters, but this is the piece that I like. Right here, as you can see, it has, these are different options that you can add to your toolbar on the bottom. So if you know you use curves way more, you can select curves, and that will then be one of your main options. But as you can see, I have crops, filters, light, and color and effects as some of the main options. So when I go to those are always visible at the bottom. I just realized I've been wearing an Irpy cloth this entire time. That's nice. Anyway, that's my top 5 apps for free photo editing apps. I hope you found this video helpful. Go home, try them out, see if they work for you. There is no money to pay for them. It's only once you start getting into the pro versions. But yeah, I would definitely check them out. Have fun. Happy editing.